This is a short tutorial on how to access and navigate within the Carpenter upgrading program. In your browser window, type in MySciast. Hit enter. Click on the appropriate link. You should have received a username and password. Enter it. And log in. Now under your name, you should see a Students tab. Click on it and then click on My Courses. For the whole program, you'll enter at the Occupational Skills slot. Now I've got some programs and developments here, so this window should have shown up for you. I'm going to change to Student View from Instructor, so we'll see the exact same stuff together. What you're going to look for first, you can read this on your own later. Some of it might be helpful. You're going to click on Content. And I was playing around with it. It should have opened up to this page here, the Table of Contents page. This is information for you when you get into the program. Before you actually start work, I suggest you kind of go through it and make sure you're comfortable with it. If you have any questions, you just give me a call. You have to start with the occupational skills block. After that, you can go to any one of the other 4 blocks. These blocks are based on the National Occupational Analysis for the Carpenter trade, and its final exam is the Interprovincial Journeyman's exam. There is a 6th block. It's called Test Preparation, and there's some things in there for you to prepare for your block exams. That'll be explained later. There is also, for when you're done the 5 main blocks, there's some more review questions for you to keep working on while you're waiting to be called for the IP sitting. So we'll go into occupational skills, and here's a list of all the courses that are in occupational skills, ending at safety awareness and beginning at trades math. This is the order I suggest you do it in. However, you can do whatever you wish. There's an introduction. Every course has an introduction, and your navigation is here. So we'll just click on that, and that advances to the first learning outcome. It's really important that you follow the information online as you're working through the program. There'll be times when something is highlighted and I need you to understand what's going on there. And in this case, it's about the calculator. When you go to write your IP, the only thing you can take in there beside yourself is photo ID. They give you everything else that you'll need, including this calculator. The other thing is, at the very beginning, is your course manual. Now you can right click and save the link as, and meaning that, let's try it, meaning that you can save it to a desktop or a flash drive or wherever you want, or save it right into your documents or something along that line. We're going to cancel that because you can click on it and just view the manual. Now, SciAS training curriculum is based on learning outcomes. So learning outcomes are a major task. In this case, there's only one learning outcome. If we scroll down, it has learning steps. There'll be 2 basic learning steps. Now we'll just leave this up for now, and I'll come back to here, and I'm going to show you, oh, by the way, your answer key can be done the same way. The answer key is for all the review exercises in the manual. This is the learning steps, and this is where you should be looking for my directions to you. For example, as you work your way through the course, there'll be many manuals where I'll say only work on this area. Remember, we've taken our apprenticeship program, which is based on the National Occupational Analysis, but streamlined it for a tradesperson that is getting ready to write the IP. So you'll see that there'll be times where, for example, refer to this learning step as required. That'll happen frequently as you're going through. Less so in occupational skills, more so as you work through the other courses. Doesn't mean this stuff isn't important. It's just it's things that you should have learned on the site. In this case, I'm suggesting that you look at these assignments, the instruction sheet and review exercise, and doing all the questions. That's because I don't know how recent it is that you've been into math. Math is critical to our trade. So if we go back and we have a look at the learning steps in the manual, remember I said that the first learning step was not necessary. It may be necessary if you want to do the advanced kind of work on the calculator, but my suggestion is to just use it as a normal calculator. Where you'd be starting is learning step 2. All learning steps have an instruction sheet. They may have a reading exercise and they'll have a review exercise. Just grab a sheet of paper, do the math calculations, complete the assignment, and then download your answer key. And we were at 2.2, and there'd be your answers. Quick check and you're good to go. When you've finished all of these in your manual, you can advance to the next one. That's an error on the page. That was page should have been removed. You would have noticed right away because it's the same work. What it's doing now is it's generating a self-check quiz. Sometimes these will spin for a few minutes. Try and keep from clicking your button too often. And if it doesn't open right away, you can always just go back one and then try it again. And there it is. So again, you would just go through and answer all the questions. You'll notice whenever you see a highlighted word, it's a link. And in this case, it would be the link to the answer key. And again, it's too slow for me. There. And you'd scroll through, self-mark your questions, and you're good to go. In which case, we're going to move on. And now we're into print reading. And you notice that we teach blueprints in all 4 levels of apprenticeship. So as you're advancing through these 4 levels, there'll be less actual work for you to do as far as reading is concerned. The majority of your work is going to be in calculating for concrete quantities. But we'll go back and have a look at BPRT 100. This is the introduction page. This is where you'll find your course manual and your answer key. Download it, then advance to the first, excuse me, learning outcome 1. And again, you can read through all of these. One thing we'll stop and have a quick look at is every course in the program will have this glossary of terms. So if you run across a term that you're not sure of, you can just go back and hit on there. I think I've got 90 some in there for you. But we'll get rid of that. You're going to come down and here's your information. I'm just saying to do questions 1 to 27. Every once in a while in the media, there'll be something for you to check out. Again, too slow. There we go. So you hit play. So there'll be several of these depending on which course you're in. And all they are is a little bit extra help for getting through the reading. And it's same as the math. You work your way through. In this case, you got several videos to help you with. At the end here, you're going to see that there's a rising sun print. Again, you can save the link as and save it somewhere. I'm going to cancel that. We'll just open it up. This is a document that we've designed in partnership with our architectural program. It's a teaching print. So because I was raised in the 60s, that's why it's called Rising Sun. Some of you will get that, and some of you won't. Anyway, there's your print. You can also download them to a flash drive if you're more comfortable working on paper, and take them out and have them printed. They show up really well on an 8.5 by 14. So again, back to the top, advance to the next page. This is Learning Outcome 2. This is regarding the National Building Code. Here on navigate through the building code. 20 questions out of your 100 questions will be based on the National Building Code on your IP. So it's really important that you understand how to navigate and interpret. And you'll see the review exercise, you're doing all the questions in step 1, but in 2, it's just a quick reading assignment. Same with step 3. Go back. This is prepare quantity survey for concrete footings. Now these are practical exercise. So meaning that these learning activities here are your resources for completing the takeoff on these items only. Again, you can have your print there. When you completed that, now we're into BPRT 200. Intro page, course manual and answer key, and your learning steps. In this case, we have some more videos to have a look at. And again, the print's available here. Just we make sure you get it for sure, and you'll read through and complete this section. Now we're going to jump back to occupational skills. So we were here on BPRT 200s in Blueprints and Quantity Survey in occupational skills. So you'll work your way through till you get to safety awareness. At which time, when you're getting close to the end, you'll give me a call and we'll establish a time and place for you to write the exam that will be based on all of these courses. Your block exam, we like to call them, has to be done in an invigilated site, meaning that there has to be somebody competent to guarantee that the exam is being done properly and on time. You can use any of the SciAS campuses. You can use I've used libraries, schools, RM offices, City Hall, any number, wherever you can find somebody that'd be willing to invigilate for you. In which case, then you would send me an email saying, Dave, I'm ready to write occupational skills at Kelsey campus on such or such a date. And you show up with your code book, scratch paper, calculator, pencil, and I send up the exam. You'll do the exam. They'll return the exam to me. I'll mark it right away. I also do you a little bit extra, is all the ones that providing you got your 70%. I take all the questions you got incorrect and I create a Word document for you and I send them back to you for you to research and correct yourself. There are some other tabs here. These aren't really appropriate or applicable to the online carpenter upgrading. There's several little things you can play around with. I would suggest that you do some reading of the program information and some of the navigation stuff here before you get started. Once you're started, you need any help at all, you can email me. You have my contact number as far as email is concerned. You have my cell phone. You can text me or you can call me. I prefer you call me during the hours of operation, but because I work during the day too. But my texts and emails, I sometimes get a chance to answer them during the day, or at least tell you, give me a call tonight and I'll send you something, or discuss it some more. So again, if you have any questions, welcome to the online carpenter upgrading. And again, if you have any questions, just don't be afraid to give me a shout.